Well, it looks like we have 4 Game 7s out of 8 locked up, with maybe a 5th to come, depending on how Dallas and Calgary goes. The New York Rangers force a Game 7 against the Pittsburgh Penguins after being down 3-1. The injuries to Penguins, Sidney Crosby, Tristan Jarry not returning, the New York Rangers power play, the New York Rangers offense, and the return to form of Igor Shesterkin has pushed this series to number 7. To massively passionate fan bases, which, like, hey, we love y'all. Subscribe, join our channel. We're really pandering to fans here, but let's be honest, the players are really the ones that are playing. So passionate fan bases or not, to absolutely really good, top of their game teams in this one, and just all kinds of storylines. So let's talk about it. Now, so far, Coach Ryan D has gone 3 for 3 in his series predictions. The reason they ended up going that way, we had a predictions video. If you've been around on this channel for some time, we did an hour long of advanced analytics stats, roster breakdowns. We went through everything. We combed through these teams. We've gone 3 for 3. I don't know if we will end up going 8 for 8. We may go 3 and 5. Who knows? Remember, if I had a sports almanac and I could make these predictions that good, all I would be doing is betting on sports. And speaking of betting on sports, if you want to, head over to betus.com. 125% deposit bonus for first-time players. I know these apps are flying around everywhere. Everyone is promoting one. That is because they are the new hot thing. So switching apps is not a bad idea because you get 125% deposit bonus. It's like me giving you free money. So you're welcome. Head over to there, try it, bet on your favorite team today, like the Pittsburgh Penguins or the New York Rangers in Game 7. Now, what did we say about this series in that video? We said the Pittsburgh Penguins had the second deepest roster in the NHL going into these playoffs. However, we also said if Tristan Jarry didn't return, that may be a very good reason the Pittsburgh Penguins are unable to win the Stanley Cup. Now you take out DeSmith. Torn muscle. What are you going to do? Jarry doesn't return from the broken foot. Sidney Crosby leaves. That takes out our number 1 category we talked about when it comes to roster construction to win a Stanley Cup, and that is your elite center. We identified that the New York Rangers do not have an elite center. We said Zibanajad is good, but he does not classify as elite. We classified Crosby as a franchise player. So in order to lose that player, the number 1 most important thing to any team's roster construction, that goes ahead and takes away Pittsburgh's largest strength, which is their depth of roster. Then what we said about the New York Rangers is that they have the better power play. They are the faster team north to south because they are the younger team. They may not have the depth on the back end, meaning their bottom 6. I thought as far as roster construction goes, they were a lot shallower than the Penguins. The Penguins being one of the deeper teams out there. We identified that Adam Fox and Igor Shesterkin are the keys to victory for this team. Both have been healthy. Shesterkin struggled a little bit, but it looks like he's gotten his form back. And here we are. We're going into Game 7. We're going to test the theory right now, but I think either way it goes, we can claim we got a lot of things about this series right. We ended up picking the New York Rangers to win this series, but we really ended up leaning that way just because of the way the season series went. That was the little thing that ended up tipping the hat. So Penguins have done excellent in this series. New York has done well coming back. New York's power play is hot today. Jeff Carter opens up the scoring, and that's what you want to see. Carter's a playoff beast. There's certain names in the playoffs that have just been synonymous with the NHL over the last 10 years. Jeff Carter is one of those. Corey Perry's another guy. Pat Maroon's another guy. These guys that just don't go away. They don't age, and they just score big goals at big times. Rust and Guentzel, 2 of the best players left on the Penguins after Sidney Crosby departs. Bryan Rust goes ahead and gets the second one. And we have the exact same story as last game. Pittsburgh out to an early lead. Is Shesterkin going to get shook? Are the Rangers going to fold and quit? And neither happens. The Rangers stick in it. The Penguins take 2 bad penalties. And why do I call them bad penalties? Anytime you get called for roughing or a sticking penalty, you really got to give your head a shake regardless of what you think should or shouldn't have been called, because there's always like referees. It's so boring. Rodriguez takes a roughing penalty. You got to be careful not to take these types of penalties in the playoffs. They happen. Takes them. Zibanajad finally gets on the scoreboard. Rangers power play goes to work. And everybody's sitting there, including the Pittsburgh Penguins, going, not again, please. Zibanajad follows that up because when you score in bunches, right? Once the dam breaks, you end up going. So Zibanajad ends up scoring again from Fox and Lindgren. These are two absolutely elite players there for the Rangers. Lindgren returns from getting kicked in the head. I don't even think he missed the shift, but a Pittsburgh Penguin player ended up hitting him in the head. I don't know how Rangers fans feel about that. Let me know down below. I think it's incidental contact, but also I think after the Crosby incident, the Penguins were trying to take a few runs at a couple Rangers players, including Jacob Trouba. But what that really displayed to me was how small the Penguins are. And I don't say that insultingly. I knew going into this series they were the smallest team in the playoffs, but it was one of those like, wow, you were significantly smaller than the Rangers. Reeves ends up throwing a big hit in this game. It looked like it was from behind. Yeah, he slowed up, but hey, that's playoff hockey. No call on it. Looks like Heinen's okay after that hit, but Chris Kreider then scores on the power play after a 4-minute for high sticking. You've heard me say this again and again and again and again. Control your stick. It's like driving your car. If you get into an accident, it doesn't matter if the guy stops, pivots, intention, phantom hit, whatever. You rear end a guy, it's your fault in the accident. You high stick a guy, it's your fault. You're going to the box. You trip a guy, you're going to the box. The two easiest calls, most consistent and only consistent calls made in the NHL. Evgeni Malkin, though, puts the team on his back, reminds people why he is the second best Russian player to ever play after Alexander Ovechkin. If you disagree, tell me who your second favorite Russian player is down below. Mika Zibanajad finishes it off with a hat trick because, like we said, right? It's the dam, hitting the dam with the ball peen hammer. Eventually, the concrete breaks and the water comes rushing through. So you heard me say Zibanajad's not elite. I can't wait for all the comments down below. He got a hat trick. Hat trick. He's the best. Every player on my team's the best. Look, man, he ain't Sidney Crosby. He ain't in the top 5. He ain't in the top 10 of centermen. He ain't getting the elite tag, but he had a great game today, and that I can fully admit. Andrew Kopp then finally pots the empty netter, and Ranger fans, remember, there's a lot of folks on here, maybe they're new to this channel, they're like, you're a Penguin supporter. I love those comments too. Jets fan, number 1. Jets traded with the Rangers, number 2. And if the Rangers make it to the conference final, Coach Ryan D's Winnipeg Jets second round pick becomes a first round pick. So there are things on the line for that, including my prediction being correct of the Rangers winning and a first round pick. However, Ranger fans, it doesn't matter how you got here. You won't care. So I need you to do this for a minute. Earmuffs, please, because you may not like what I have to say, and that's okay. You're kind of the bad guys in this one. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter about all the liberties you'll list about what Pittsburgh ended up taking. It's irrelevant. I'm a neutral hockey guy. I'm not a fan of either team, if you want to call it diehard or emotional investment, and I don't have money bet on BetUS on either team. I actually have it on the Bolts, the Canes, and the Flames. I don't know if that was a good idea. Anywho, nobody said I was smart with my money. It feels weird. At least me being an outside observer watching Crosby go down, and yeah, it's just a freak accident. Pittsburgh fans, you may want to do this now, okay? Your turn. Who am I talking to? They're both earmuffed. Anyways, the NHL declared this a clean hit. There was no penalty on the call. Supplemental discipline didn't want to look at it. Regardless of how you feel about it, all that matters, and I say this on this channel again and again and again, all that matters is how the NHL feels about it. That's how they feel about it. That's how the referee feels about it. We all have to shrug our shoulders and move on, but the emotional investment Penguins fans and Crosby fans have in it, I understand. Back to the Ranger fans. You don't care how you win. You shouldn't care how you win. No team, if the Jets end up winning the Stanley Cup, I don't care if they have to take the easiest path there. I don't care if everybody's a Band-Aid, hurt or out. If we win the cup, it's our cup. They don't ask you how, they ask you how many. No one will remember this in 10 minutes anyway, outside of the city of Pittsburgh. So you just want to advance. So Ranger fans, I'm with you. I get it. All good. But right now in this moment, I'm kind of looking at this going, yeah, you should win. They're on their third string goalie and their number 1 franchise player who we've designated as the most important position in terms of winning a Stanley Cup or out. If you don't win, it's kind of like losing to a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. And you can talk to me all about the fact that the Pittsburgh Penguins were up on the last 2. They had opportunities to win. Hey, look, Pittsburgh, tough luck. You got to find a way to battle through this and win. That's how I feel about it. But also, if you got to pick a good guy and a bad guy in the series, one side's the Empire at this point, and it's the Rangers. But I also always find myself cheering for the Empire, so maybe it's a bad example. TIE fighters are cooler. And don't forget, after I just talked about both your teams and got you both emotionally charged up in Pittsburgh and New York Rangers land, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It doesn't matter. It goes the same way. It's engagement. It's a beautiful thing about YouTube. Up, down, whatever. Click a button down there. Helps a ton. Leave a comment down there. Helps a ton, regardless of what it is. And go ahead and subscribe for any other reason on there. Absolutely helps a ton. We just passed 6,000 subscribers. Couldn't have done it without you. Hey, if you want to go ahead and level up a little bit here with Coach Ryan D and Hawk Garbage Sports, we have a membership option down below. And if you really like the content you're seeing, think about throwing us a super like. All right, guys, let's keep going. We talk about it a few times. We call it widening the zone. As soon as they widen the zone, they end up getting a beautiful shot on net. This goal actually, though, isn't generated by widening the zone. It's generated by the defensive battle in front of the net. Jacob Trouba is a horse, but he loses this battle to Jeff Carter. The younger, stronger, bigger Jacob Trouba just doesn't use good body position in this. Actually, none of the Rangers defense does in this. They do not help out Shesterkin at all. What you end up seeing to our left right away is cross-check. Then what you end up seeing is Trouba losing his man, Jeff Carter. You got to stick with him. So then Trouba goes ahead and he ends up getting puck watching. You can see that right there. Trouba's looking and staring at where the puck's going as opposed to watching his man. Also, what you can see is Pittsburgh's been able to box inside of Shesterkin. You need to stick lift. You need to tie up sticks. You can't be cross-checking and you can't be puck watching in front of the net. As the play proceeds on, Jacob Trouba uses what we call a stick press. That's when the stick goes down onto the stick and you press onto it. It is a very ineffective check compared to a stick lift, in which you lift the stick off the ice. There are two valid ways to check. It is the press and the lift. There's a time for both. This was not a time to press. You need to go ahead there and lift. Because he doesn't lift, because the defensive zone box out tactics there by Trouba and his defensive partner there aren't ideal, Jeff Carter's able to get his stick on the puck and put it in. That's why stick presses are no good. That's why cross checks are no good in front of the net. The second goal for Pittsburgh results in the New York Rangers not being able to clear the zone. Hey, looky, it's my best buddy, Jacob Trouba again. The Rangers think I don't like them. I just don't like Jacob Trouba. The rest of the Rangers, not a problem. It's just hatred being a Jets fan, you know? Miller and co end up losing the battle behind the net and the puck kicks out to the far side. You need to be able to win those battles. When you lose those battles, you're out of position. When you're out of position, you start losing backdoors. When you lose backdoors, you will see that people are able to sneak in. It is very difficult now for defensemen in team defense to go ahead and get it right. They don't get it. They lose them on the back door. Rust ends up putting it in. Easy goal. All because it happens on the defensive partners not being able to clear the zone in a 2-on-1 behind the net. And for those of you who don't know why I don't like Jacob Trouba as a Jets fan, it's because we drafted him here and the only thing we heard about is, I don't want to play in this city. I hate this city. Look, we get it. It's New York. Everybody loves New York. It's the #1 city in the world. Adam Fox did it to Calgary. Trouba did it to Winnipeg. At least Trouba gave Winnipeg 5 good years, but it's always controversial to small Canadian towns when that ends up happening, especially when you own their rights for 8 years and you're paying them millions of dollars. But both end up in New York. Both are moving on to the next round. Ranger fans don't care. If we ever wanted to draw something on a coach's whiteboard teaching kids to play the game of hockey at the age of 13 and 14 on a power play, it would be this power play. You need to win the draw on these. And what I love about New York here, look at this simple lineup. Like, I have to call out, everybody's going to think I'm nuts. Ryan, it's 3 across the line. It's a normal face-off. It isn't. There isn't anything cute happening here. This is a standard draw. And why is that good? Because standard draws work and guys don't use it in the NHL enough. You have two 50-50 battles right here on the wall. You have enough gap between the centerman and the defenseman that the defenseman can actually change angles if it's a bad draw that ends up splitting the D and coming through both. How many times have you guys seen a draw split your own defenseman? The penalty killers get out to a race on a breakaway and score. We talk about scoring off of faceoffs and scoring off of power plays, and this is actually both. So the Rangers win that draw cleanly back, and they immediately get into their 1-3-1. So 1 on the top, 3 across the bottom or the middle, 1 down below. This format allows you multiple outlets. Adam Fox uses what we call the shooter outlet. That's the guy down below. So Foxy goes ahead, makes the simple pass. Simple pass on 5-on-4 is the way to go. So Fox moves it down low. Zibanajad is in our passer spot, or the bumper position as we call him. It ends up pushing out to him. He scores from the bumper position. There are so many options on a 1-3-1. This is just an excellent power play setup. Everyone in the league does it right now. It's full copied, cut and paste, but the Rangers make it look easy here. It's why it's one of the best power plays in the league. Puck pops out to, right out to Zibanajad. Beautiful goal. Domingue has no chance. I mean, is what it is. 2-1. Goal number 2 by the Rangers is 5-on-5, and this happens because the Rangers win 2-on-1 battles. You hear me say that all the time. Hockey is about creating 2-on-1 battles. So right here, you end up seeing Zibanajad winning that puck around the corner. That's perfect. So you have a 2-on-1 battle here. Why take all the players away? You end up with a 2-on-1 based on positioning there. This game can all be about subtracting and adding players who are close to each other. As that puck ends up moving around the net, the New York Rangers are able to win the race to the puck. That's very key. You seal the puck along the wall. The wider the puck moves in the offensive zone, the more it favors the offense. The more it stays in tight spaces, the more it favors defense. That wide zone then gets wider with a hard rim all the way back. This is again strategic. Widening the zone means you go from one end to the other, back this way. This is stressful on goalies. This is stressful on defensive zone systems. The more you get the defenders moving, the more they're going to be out of position. From here, it's just Adam Fox being the elite player that he is. Absolutely the best defenseman at walking the line, opening up, pure skill, pure stick handling capability. You see Zibanajad ready for this. Fox ends up doing a lot of things in this series. He tricks goaltenders because a lot of the time he'll continue walking this puck himself. He won't feed his player. That will mess with goaltenders because you're changing angles at different speeds. It's not always about just making the pass. So this time Fox starts the skate, but as he starts the skate, he stops halfway through and then feeds it over to Zibanajad. I've watched Fox enough now to know that sometimes he shoots, sometimes he moves it over. I get there's only 50-50 of a chance, but no defenseman walks the line like Adam Fox. No defenseman screws with goalies like Adam Fox. No defenseman is a better pure goal scorer than Adam Fox. And Zibanajad gets his second on the night. Everyone's going to be talking about this one. There's not much to break down here. What I'm going to tell you, though, is Shesterkin's pass on this, because of course he gets an assist. Igor Shesterkin, right? Unreal. Igor Shesterkin gets an assist off this. This is why goalies need to play the puck. This is why goalies need to be allowed to handle the puck. This is why the trapezoid needs to go away. Don't bring at me the Marty Brodeur, Patrick Waugh dead puck days. There were enough goals in that day. I can prove it. I love this pass. It is a breakout pass. It is amazing. Unbelievable. Springs Zibanajad. He's gone. Deming has absolutely no hope on this one. I mean, he gets a piece of it, but just a nasty, nasty rebound. Kreider ends up putting it in. Stop yelling at your goalies when they play the puck and bad things happen. More good things happen than bad things when goalies play the puck. They need to play the puck, team. They shouldn't stay in their net. Malkin's goal here, you've heard me say this a million times. If you don't score on the opposing team's net in their own zone, it is 200% likelier that it's going to turn back and become a goal against you. The Rangers are unable to capitalize here, and as they are unable to capitalize, moving the puck to Jacob Trouba. God, I love being able to rip on Trouba. It's the best. Malkin ends up poking it through. Beautiful breakaway. This is going to make Jacob Trouba a solid -3 in terms of goals. Just not a great job here by Trouba. Malkin is truly elite still. Well, formally elite. Sometimes he looks like Frankenstein, but you never lose your hands. You never lose your ability to shoot. And he was really showing off the speed and the hockey IQ there. And for his final act of the game, look, who is it? It's Adam Fox. This is the franchise player of the New York Rangers. Shesterkin is amazing. Fox is amazing. I got him as a tie for the most important guys on the Rangers. Fox completes what is called a neutral zone regroup. He ends up sending all three of his Rangers with speed through the neutral zone. Pittsburgh gets caught on a change. This is a horrible change by the Penguins. Look, one's going off, one's backs to it. You're just entering in. The zone is way too wide. It was a beautiful quick up is what we call that by Adam Fox. So that quick up to his partner, and you get to go in with speed, and you're going to win with speed every time. Now, there's no goal off that one here, but looky here. Who do we have again? We have Adam Fox in the neutral zone. Deadly, deadly, deadly. Look at that pass. This guy can absolutely do everything. You're just going to sit here. This is just a highlight reel of Adam Fox. That's all this game is. Mika Zibanajad can have 4 goals. All he wants is a highlight reel of Adam Fox. He's absolutely incredible. Ditch it over here to Kris Kreider. Drive the mid lane. We talk about this all the time. Bump it out. Go down the middle. Why? You got to push defensemen back. Zibanajad ends up doing that. Standard play. Perfect play. It's exactly how you're supposed to play a 3-on-2. This is actually a 3-on-4. Zibanajad drives the net. He ends up deflecting this puck for Deming. It bounces off Zibanajad, finds his way into the net, and that is all she wrote. So now that we're going into Game 7, you can see the difference when your franchise players are playing and you have your franchise players available. Adam Fox changes this whole game in favor of the New York Rangers. Zibanajad gets the glory because he gets the hat trick. He gets the assist, but Adam Fox just carries this team from the back end. What a gorgeous, beautiful hockey player for the New York Rangers. Tough night for Jacob Trouba. Tough night for Deming. Tough night for the Pittsburgh Penguins. There are ways they could have mitigated this and got through this and won, but the New York Rangers, too talented tonight. No Sidney Crosby. I highly doubt he will be there for Game 7. He is concussed. It's fully confirmed. So it will be Penguins with no Jari, with no Crosby against the New York Rangers in New York in Madison Square Garden. Whoever comes out on top deserves the win in the series.